Hello student, good morning. We will start the next topic, that is the external characters of Scoliodon. External characters are Scoliodon. Scoliodon. Scoliodon is dogfish. The long laterally compressed body, tapering at both ends, is the broadest in the region of the pectoral fins. The dorso-ventrally compressed head is produces into flat pectoral fins. The dorso-ventrally compressed head is produces into flat pointed snout anteriorly. The head bears two large circular eyes at its sides. The eyelids are immovable and can hardly be distinguished from the surrounding integument, but each is provided with a special eyelids. The nictitating membranes which lies along the antroventral borders and can be drawn over the eyes in time of danger. The pupil is narrow and ventricles. The trunk pulges on into tail compressed from side to side and slightly pits, one dorsally and the other ventrally. These are the caudal pits. A mere touch reveals that the entire body is covered with minute scales. A careful look reveals the presence of faint line, the lateral line extending from the head to the posterior end of the body. This is the morphological structure. At the anterior side, snout, a pair of eyes, head, snout is tapering, nares, mouth is posterior side, 1 to 5 external gill slits, lateral lines at the centrally, lateral lines on the body surface, first dorsal fin trunk, pelvic fin, pectoral fin, dorsal caudal fin, position of cloaca, hypoquadrial lower lobe of the caudal fin, ventral caudal pits at the posterior side, heterocircle tail epicaudal or upper lobe of the caudal at the posterior side. This is the morphological structure of Scoliodon in internal views. The body supports several fins that help the animals in locomotions and in maintaining balance. The fins are flattened expansion of the skin, usually triangular in shape, usually triangular in shape and supported by cartilaginous rods and horny fin rays. Among the maiden fins, the first dorsal fin is large, triangular in shape, situated a little in front of the middle of the body. The second dorsal fin is situated a little distance behind the first and is similar in shape, though smaller in size. The caudal fin is situated a little distance behind the first and is similar in shape, though smaller in size. The caudal fin forms a vertical fringe round the posterior portion of the tail. It is divided into two lobes, dorsal and ventral. The dorsal lobe forms a low ridge along the greater part of the upper surface of the tail in the median line. The ventral lobe is well developed, divided into part, a larger anterior and smaller posterior. The ventral median fin is situated in the mid ventraline, slightly in front of the caudal fin. This is almost opposite to the second dorsal fin. Comparable with the limbs of higher vertebrates, there are two sets of paired fins originally from the ventrolateral margins of the body, immediately behind the gills. Clefts are the largest among fins. The pelvic fins are smaller in size and similar in shape. The arises close together from the ventral surface of the body, a little in front of the middle of its length. Their inner borders touch each other and in mid are fused together behind the enclosed the cloacal chamber. In the male, a part of the fins on each side forms a copulatory organ. The claspers, each claspers is a stiff rod-like appendages groove dorsally. The groove leads into the cavity. The siphon beginning at the base of the claspers, situated on the ventral side of the snout, is wide, crescenting, opening the mouth. It is bounded by the upper and lower jaws, each bearing one or two rows of oblique teeth on the ventral surfaces of the body. Between the pelvic fins, there is an enlarged opening, the cloacal aperture. The nostrils are a pair of obliquely placed crescentic aperture on the upper surface of the head in front of the mouth. A small false skin from the anterior edge covers each nostril partially. The nostrils are only olfactory as such. They do not open internally into the mouth cavity for breathing. These are a series of 5 vertical slits. The gill clefts opens obliquely backwards into the gill pouches and the pharynx. The abdominal pores are a pair of openings situated on elevated papillae. The cloacal papillae on the either side of the cloaca. Through these minute pores, the xylem communicates with the exterior. What is the exact function of these abdominal pores is not known. On carefully examination, the head shows numerous groups of small openings on the sides sides and on the snouts. These are the apertures of the ampullary canals. If the head is squeezed, minute drops will be observed pouring out of the opening. Skin. This skin of the dogfish comprises two layers, an outer epidermis and underlying dermis. The epidermis is a layer of several cells in the thickness. The outer may form thin squamous layer covering the external surface. The basal layer of the epidermis is the germinating layer of the stratum malpighi and the retain its germinative capacity throughout life, giving origin of cell to replace worn out cells of the outer layer in the epidermis also occurs. Certain mucous secretion glands, especially in connections with ampullary and canal system, the secretion of these cells produces a slimy coating over the surface of the skin. Multicellular glands appear at the bases of the spines, which develops at the anterior margins of the dorsal fins and in the epidermis overlying the claspers of the pelvic fins of the male. The dermis is underlying layer composed of scattered cells intermingled with connective tissue intermingled with connective tissue fibers. Numerous pigmented cells, chromatophores containing black pigments occurs beneath the Malpighian layers. The distribution of these cells differ in the different part of the body. They are much more numerous on the dorsal surface than on the ventral. That is why the dorsal surface of the animals is darker than the ventral. The rest of the dermis consists of the loose connective tissues, followed by the more compact layer. The basal plates are also embedded in the layer. The skin is covered with the minute dermal distincts or placoid scale, which are arranged in the regular oblique row and forms exoskeleton of the shark. These scales are derived from the skin. Each scale consists of a diamond-shaped calcified dorsal plates from which a flat trident spine projects out. This is the external characters of Scoliodon. Okay, thank you.